One day later. One day later. Oh, yeah,
Toodaloo, motherfucker!
I don't know Wade personally, but from watching his case, I believe he is 100% innocent.
He is going to get the death penalty if we don't do anything.
Signed by a vote of 9-3 that Wade Wilson should be sentenced to death.
We need to free him now.
My nose to the ground and really just focus on fighting everything that I can for Wade behind the scenes, because there's a lot going down.
Who did he do the interview with?
This guy jumpsuit Pablo, who's been a fucking problem. Fucking asshole about shit, like asshole.
Oh, I'm the asshole. I've killed 0 people.
So I got back in the car, and that's when he started strangling me. And when I heard that that's how he killed those women, I was like, this is like his MO. This is what he does.
Christine and I have been friends since we were in high school.
Where did the two of you meet?
In Illinois, where we grew up.
No, she always had everybody's back. She just had that personality that was really magnifying. She had this really loud laugh that you could hear it like a mile away.
State your full name. My name is Wade Stephen Wilson. Hey.
Tonight on The Ugly Devil, Tommy Williams, once Wade Wilson's closest friend, speaks out about the warning signs, manipulation, and moments that made him realize something was deeply wrong.
All right, so when did you meet Mr. Wade Wilson here?
I met Wade years ago when I was working at Eric's. Eric had I just met Eric, and his mom bought a hotel down in Conch Key, Florida, a little bit north of Marathon. And Eric asked me to come down there and help him remodel the place. And I did. And I was there for a couple months. And then he said, I came back to Fort Myers for like a week or so. He told me he had these guys starting, this guy, Chris, and Wade. So when I got down there, I met them. And they were like a couple kind of thing, I guess.
Oh, so you met him gay?
No, it was weird because being honest, when you see Wade, I mean, Wade's a big dude and he doesn't look that way. And I asked him, I said, are you? And he was like, no, dude, that's just, so there was a little bit of, he never acted that way. He never, it wasn't, with that guy or anything like that, That's what I just had heard when I first got there. And I was like, what? Just didn't really quite make sense to me. But that was the alleged kind of thing. But, they weren't hanging out and being weird and all that kind of stuff, or different, I should say.
Did Wade ever talk to you about The Unforgiven?
He did not. Wade, I think, here's one thing I do want to say. The setting was down there. I believe that Wade really was trying to put on his best foot. He'd put his best foot forward when he was around us. You know what I mean? I think he was around some cool guys, having fun. And I think he adapted to that. My opinions on how he is probably was before, are neither here nor there right now. Maybe we can talk about that later, but I think he was trying to be a good guy when we were down there. Maybe change for him. I don't know, but nobody ever saw that with Wade. That's why it was, this whole thing's been
any signs there he was like, there was something off, like there were no like little things that would have been like, holy shit, that was a red flag.
Well, a couple things. One thing really, in retrospect, and let me preface in saying retrospect, I was sitting there and I was talking about somebody, because I used to go out with Camila, and we kind of had a little bad breakup there a long time ago. And I was talking about some guy that she had hooked up with, whatever. I was like, man, that fucker, and he had moved to Las Vegas. I was just kind of bitching about it one night, and Wade was my buddy, at the time, the old Wade, and he said, man, I wish you could fly me to Vegas and let me kill that motherfucker, and I'm thinking beat up. I mean, when we say that as guys, say that word, I don't think really to do that. You know what I'm saying? I think you're talking about, you know, whoop his ass or something. You know what I mean?
I don't
And I was
know.
like,
I've been around some
nah,
killers,
dude,
man.
you know, huh?
I said I've been around some killers, man. Usually dudes don't throw that around unless they really trying to do it, or
I just,
they
I'm
have
not,
done it, or they're trying to prove something.
yeah, I see now that maybe that was him trying to say something, you know, a little bit more than what I thought it was. Like I said, in retrospect, he probably meant it, you know, but that's not how I looked at it. I blew it off, and I didn't think about it again until he was a person of interest later, and I was like, oh my gosh, maybe that's what he really meant, you know. And then that's when things started to get a little scary, you know.
Yeah. Now, did you notice like you interacted with him on a almost a daily basis for quite some time?
Absolutely.
Did you see any like delays as far as like learning or like memory? I know when they did a scan on him and they were saying that he was off, he couldn't retain certain information or comprehend it in a way. Did you see any behavioral signs that would have led you to believe that he was like?
I saw an immaturity. I remember we were Eric and I used to fish every single day. Is you know, bait was free, beer was free. I'm like, from day one, you know, I love to fish. Who doesn't like to go down the Keys and go out for an hour or two and catch, you know, a couple mahi and be back in an hour? I mean, it was a
Fish in
daily.
heaven down there. That's the mecca.
I mean, we got back to the first time, and he said, "Tommy, go grab a 12-pack of Bud Light." This is my Eric impersonation. Go grab a 12-pack of Bud Light, a couple packs of smokes for me and you. Grab the bait, grab some chum, and let's roll and fuel the boat up. Dude, I did that every single day, happily. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like this is what I would do if it was my own boat, but you know, we're 200 bucks in every single day. And Eric would never take Wade. He takes other guys, you know. So there was always a little thing there, you know. Not to a big extent, you know. I believe Eric smacked him one time in front of people, and Wade didn't do anything, but that did happen. But when Eric was going on a tangent, but I took him fishing one time. That's what I was trying to say. Sorry, I took him fishing one time. We went around underneath the bridge. When I put him on a grouper about 25, 26 inches, and he said it was the first fish he ever caught. No one had ever taken fishing. Yeah. So I mean, I saw an immaturity there. You know, he's happy, and I'm just like, this kid doesn't really know a lot.
He was lacking. He was lacking. Yeah, he was lacking a true male role model in his life.
Yeah, he called me big bro. I called him little bro. Even the last time I saw him, where we both almost went at it.
The day of the crimes, right? Where were you at?
I was downtown Fort Myers, and Josh had called me, and he said, "Bro, I just got back in. I think I just got back in from the Keys." And Josh just called me and said, "Bro, Wade came over here and just said he killed some people." And I was like, "What? Come on, bro. You know, I mean, it's unbelievable when you hear something like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't believe that. You know, that's not the world that I live in, or you know." So I was like, "Come on." He's like, "Dude, I'm telling you, he came over here. He had a shirt on, he had blood on his shirt. He had some strange car, and I called the cops. They're coming right now." I'm like, "Oh my gosh," you know. Then he called me. Josh was calling me back and said, "Oh, Wade took off when the cops came here, and they sent the dogs after him." So, you know, that's where I was, and you know, then I was heading up here. I headed up here. I met Josh. I just saw all the stuff that was going on, and it was a long time before they actually got him, which he was just right around the corner, hiding in somebody's house.
You ever talk to his father? Because we heard him on a jail call saying, "Yo, your boy, you know, your friend Tommy's going on the news and stuff." So I don't know if you had a relationship with Papa Steve.
I did go on the news. They right after that, it wasn't too long after. Yeah, I was about half drunk too, but I installed 2 air conditioners that day, and they came to my office like at 11 o'clock at night, you know, and yeah, I said some pretty rough stuff, you know, as I can get sometimes, but yeah. So the dad said, "Oh, that Tommy, he's a character, you know." I mean, whatever, I am, but you know, I don't kill people.
Right. So what about you had threesomes with Wade?
That happened like once or twice. Once.
So y'all were Eskimo brothers.
We were wild, you know.
Eiffel Towers.
Man,
Was there
you gotta
animosity?
get your homework.
So let me break something down to you too, because Wade says the day you came to the house to confront him, which you've said the story on your own TikTok live multiple times. I think I've seen you say it 2 times, but he's saying that was because they wanted him. You were coming there to tell him, you know, he was making up this whole story about the victims and stuff. But when that happened, right? He said that if Milo would open the door, he was gonna fuck you up. Now you wanted him to come outside. So what happened, man?
I'm glad you asked this question. So what happened was the first time when you know, we were at a place, we came up here, I said, just whatever you do, man, just don't hook up with my ex. You know, it's too, oh, bro, I'd never do that. I've got loyalty tattooed on me and all that stuff. And I go back to Fort Myers, they get together. And when I came back, I was downtown Fort Myers with Josh and my girlfriend at the time, and we were driving by Mila's spot. I saw him go in, and I pulled my Hummer right in there. And, you know, I just wanted to talk to the man. You know what I mean? So I banged on the door for about 15, 20 minutes, I would say aggressively, and he wouldn't come out. Why he wouldn't come out, I don't know. But he didn't come out, you know. I mean, that's all I know. You know, Mila said this and that and the other. Well, maybe. I don't know if the guy's got a machine gun in there, but he didn't come out and talk to me or anything, so I left. Nothing happened. Now, the second time, I guess the next day he got in a fight with her and he went to jail, so it's 6 months later. Me and my buddy Chris Brown, who has nothing to do with any of this, by the way. He's just a buddy of mine who helped me do a job that day. We were at Joe's Crab Shack downtown Fort Myers, which is just happened to be across the street. A lot of stuff's downtown, you know, right by her place of business. And I got a call from Wade, and it said, "Hey, big bro, how you doing?" I said, "Good, man. What's up?" "Well, I just want to let you know that I'm going to be a part of this business, and if you have a problem with me, or it's going to be a problem." I said, "Okay." And Chris said, "Is that guy over there? You think he's right across the street?" I said, "Most likely." So we marched on over there, knocked on the door, and he came out. And I said, "Chris, stay here." I saw Wade fight. I saw Wade fight in the Keys, man. I saw him fight with that little Chris dude, his little buddy. And
that's
as far as
Florida State University shirt on. That's that was a slap boxing video.
What's that?
That was a slap boxing video you talking about, or that was a different?
I mean, you know, to be honest with you, Wade is a big guy. He's intimidating. You know, I mean,
that big shit don't mean nothing if you don't know.
It doesn't mean anything, man. And you know, I saw him fight. And I saw this little guy just smack the hell out of him, and Wade fell back. And I mean, you would think a guy's been to jail so many times and all those tattoos and 6'4", 6'5" would know how to fight. You would think, but I mean, he was getting the best at him. The little guy, Chris, was getting the best at him. To be honest with you, so I guess psychologically, I felt I wasn't intimidated. Okay.
Yeah.
So I went up there. I said, "Hey, man, I want to talk to you." And he came out, and I know. First of all, I noticed, my God, what happened to his teeth? His teeth were all rotted out. That freaked me out, man. You know, I'm assuming he had dentures in before or whatever, but that freaked me out. So I took a step back, and I was ready to go. I said, "Listen, man," he goes, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? I said, "I just want to talk to you." I said 3 things. He goes, "Oh, are you? I'm a part of this business right now. Are you here to cause trouble?" And I was up on the 2nd floor, and I said, "Number 1, I want an apology." You know, I mean, I wasn't dealing with a person who did these things. You know, I was dealing with an asshole friend, I guess you might say. You know what I mean? At the time. And I said, "Do you see Lee County Sheriff down there?" He said, "No." I said, "Well, let me tell you what, man. I know you're still on probation over in Palm Beach County. Whether you turned in paperwork or whatever, you're still on probation here. I'm not calling you in. So again, I ask you, am I causing any problems? Do you see him?" "No." "All right." Then he said he's sorry. And it's all right. I said, and the last thing is just more ego. It's just, I said, "Ben, if you mess around with me or whatever, I'm going to come back with 10. It's my town. Don't be talking shit. You embarrassed me enough. I mean, you know." And he said he's sorry. And he said, "Man, if I can make it right, I'll leave with you right now."
Because they never interviewed you. The police never interviewed you, right?
Why would they?
Right. Well, I mean, you're a friend of Wade Wilson.
That's true. Yeah.
A lot of depositions are missing too. A total of 15. So, you know, did you know Jason Shepard?
No idea who that is. Never met him in my life.
Okay, so when he was locked up, he was reaching out to a lot of people. Have you talked to him since he's been arrested? Since he got locked up?
Wade?
Yeah, the early days when he was in Lee County. You know.
Wade called twice, and I didn't answer the time. But you know when they say their name, he said sorry, bro. First time, and the second time he said Wade, I didn't answer, and that was years and years ago.
I know you spoke on it already a little bit, but I just wanted to ask you. I actually the first question I was going to ask you is if have you ever even seen Wade or heard of Wade fighting a man or getting into any fight in his life?
Yeah.
Other than that one you just spoke on, or
no, the only time I ever saw him. I mean, you know, like I said, we're just. I'm not pumping anybody's ego here or putting Wade on a pedestal at all. But he's a big dude. I mean, he's a big dude. I mean, you know, I'm 6'2", 220.
Right.
215, whatever. But I mean, you're going to think twice before you go up against a guy like that. He's a big dude, you know. But him and I and Eric were at a bar one time, and you know, Eric was doing something, and I think it was the Brass Monkey and Marathon, you know, the closest bar, and we're there. And there's some people who were harassing Eric a little bit, so I stepped in, and you know, it's amazing what a big, you know, yell can do, and then grab him, take him out. But Wade didn't really get involved as much. I didn't see that aggression like you would think.
What do you think opened the door for him to be able to feel comfortable, to be able to talk to Mila? Do you think it was the threesomes that you had?
Yeah, it's means, man. It's means. He shifted into looking at a girl who's got a business, who's cute, and he's got no money, he's got nothing, and he didn't care. That's about it, right?
Opportunity.
Bingo.
Now, do you think if you did those threesomes with him, if you didn't do them, he would have been inclined or comfortable with going after her? Because you know that he thinks in a certain kind of way, so that might have been.
I think Wade saw nothing about any threesomes. I think Wade saw opportunity that was better than what he had, and he went for it, man. Come on.
It was all business, nothing personal.
He didn't give a fuck.
It was
He's like, Tommy's my buddy, but you know what? I can really come on. That's
it's a
easy.
come up.
A come up, right?
Let me ask you though, because we're just what we're trying to figure out is why Wade was so comfortable telling Josh that he did the murders. You know what I'm saying? If you know why wouldn't you be closer to him? Like why wouldn't Wade call you?
Well, I wasn't close to him. He'd gone out with Mila. You know, I wasn't close to him anymore, man. You know.
Oh, so that's what caused the divide right there.
He did the hermit crab.
Yeah.
So he told Josh instead. It seemed like he leached on to Josh right
I don't know, but you know, as I understand it, you know, he went to Josh's shop, so you know, we'd have to ask him that.
Josh said he stole his gun too, and that was never recovered.
I had heard that.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's something in the case no one never talks about. When Wade went to see Josh, he had a gun on him, so I don't know where the hell the gun went. They never found it. Never got any word of it.
I have heard that allegedly there was a gun around, and that was taken. You know, thank God he didn't use it on somebody else. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, let me ask you this, right? So, if I'm not mistaken, in the past you allegedly had some kind of problem you spoke to Wade about, right? And he said, "Fly me out there," right? Something like that.
Yeah. Just casual conversation.
Right,
Yeah.
right. What do you think would have had took place if you had flown him out like he requested?
Yeah. Again, okay. Well, there's two sides of that coin.
Okay.
At the time, it was like, you know, hey man, if you fly me out there, to me, the translation was, I'll beat that guy up. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I can beat him up. I'm not going to fly out there to do that. You know, whatever. It's not worth that. Right. But at the time, I think what he said was he meant it. And I didn't take that as that because, you know, it's like when one of your friends, you know, disses you or whatever, you're like, man, I'm not fucking, you know what I mean? Whatever. You don't mean actually do that. You know what I mean? At least,
right.
I don't, you know? So that's how I took that. But like, again, like I said, in retrospect, looking back, I thought, man, maybe he really meant that. You know, I mean, how could I not think that? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's scary, you know? But I'll tell you something else. I told you I was going to tell you guys something else. After I confronted him that night, and he came out and talked to me, and he was like, I'm sorry, you know, big bro, whatever. You know, that wasn't my intention, was to be cool and just walk away. But he played it right. He's like, I'm sorry, you're right, man. He's like, dude, if you can forgive me, I'll leave with you right now. But I'm like, it's past that, dude. You know, he's like, I'm sorry, man. He really was genuinely fighting that, you know, he stepped up where, you know, he's got means, you know, he's doing all that, but he let his buddy down kind of thing, you know. I saw that. I said, all right, see ya. Whatever. And I left. And, but the next day I was at work and he called and he was out of his mind, out of his mind, man. He was like, yo, man, are you at work? I'm like, why? He's like, yo, man, you come to my place of work, you know, I'm going to come to your place of work, show you what I can really do. And he was just talking about crazy. And I'm like, Wade, you're funny, man. Why didn't you act like this last night? I was standing right there.
Right.
And dude, let me tell you what, something came over me. You know, my dad died about 12 years ago. I don't know if it was my dad, I don't know if it was God, a feeling or what it was, but something came over me and said, get the fuck out of here, man. And I went to a hotel, and the next day is when that stuff happened. And it was just this feeling, you know, this feeling of, I don't know, man, evil or whatever. I don't know. But
So
he did
called
come
you
to
the
my
day before the murders, huh?
Energy is real, yeah.
He did come to, I saw it on the cameras at my work that he did pull in and a couple times, 2 times. So thank God I wasn't there, you know.
Damn, he was looking for you, man.
Damn.
Appears so, and that's the truth. But
It could have went 2 ways, you know.
it could have went, you know, just like him coming out. You know, did he have a knife? You know, maybe things would have been bad that night. Thank God they didn't. But somebody came over. I wasn't scared of him. I already confronted him face to face, man to man. But why, if you're going to be a badass, when it's time to be a badass, why don't you be a badass?
Keep that same energy type shit.
Yeah, man. Don't get all hopped up on whatever you're doing and then running. You know, I'm doing paperwork. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Anyway, I'm thankful for that feeling that I had. I'm thankful that nothing happened. You know.
If you didn't go to that hotel, it sounded like some Dexter shit. You like got out of the situation.
Divine
And dude, that's
intervention.
that's the first time that I've ever felt like that. The variable is you don't expect this kind of thing to happen in your life. This is TV stuff, man, that has happened. And people ask you, why haven't you spoke about it? It was for 4 years before he went on to trial. None of this was brought up. I mean, no one had any questions. No one had for hardly anybody. And then when it came to fruition and he tattoos his face and he's coming in acting like this movie character, that's when it took on a life of its own and people got involved. And that's when it became, you know, for some entertaining, for some very dramatic. I mean, I guess we don't have, you know, like the guiding light and stuff like that on TV anymore. And this became a big thing, you know. And like I was saying, you know, from my point of view, it's weird to be outside, but also looking outward. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got your Jake and the Wade and all that stuff, and it's crazy, and it's affected my life a lot. And you know, I have to speak about it because there are a lot of things that people can misconstrue or they want to know. And to be honest with you, I want to know. I want to know why he did this. I want to know why he said these things. It's clear that, you know, you've got 4 years to think about it. Let's make up the most dramatic story that you can involving people that have money and this, that, and the other. But whatever, it's a bunch of bullshit, man.
So let me ask you this, right? Before all this, before the Mila situation, have you ever seen or heard him be violent or put hands on a female before?
Have I seen that? Absolutely not. Well, obviously with Mila, you know, I
Or
saw
heard
that.
of it? No, before the whole Mila thing, before all that.
No.
I ask you a few questions, Tommy?
Go ahead,
I
Miss Laura.
got a jet right now. But are we
Shout out
good?
to Miss Laura.
Hurry up, Laura. He's about to leave.
Okay, let me ask you a few questions. I'm actually on your side. There's a few folks in the chat that are just asking a few questions, and I just wanted to say a few things.
Free Karen Reed.
So yeah, free Karen Reed. So anyways, so there's a few things. So, you know, I've been a partier, you know, back in the day, and you've admitted that you're a partier too. So now you've admitted that, right? Right? You've partied back in the day. and you've had nothing to do with this silliness. You've had nothing to do with this Wade organization and bullshit. And you're
Absolutely
not
not.
lying
Oh
about
shit.
anything.
Oh shit.
I think you've come across very honest. And I just want to just come out with that. And I just
Appreciate
think
it.
that some of the folks in the chat are being absolutely ridiculous,
Mm.
saying that,
Oh
that they
shit.
think that you're making up stuff and lying. You have nothing to lie about. And it's an absolute bunch of horse shit. And I just want to say, I think you've come across as very honest and upfront. And I'm glad that you joined the panel tonight.
I appreciate
And
it.
thank you for joining us. And,
Well, these are hard questions. But the thing about it is this is, the guys said yesterday, that they want the truth. Then I believe that I hope that Plug and DVS and Blue and everybody here are on the side of right. If they're on the side of right, I don't care how many questions that you have, because I'm on the side of right too, man.
Righteousness, right.
I mean, it's been 5
You don't
years.
know me.
If you had something to do with it, your ass would have been in jail by now. And I don't
Like I
understand why
said,
this random people on the internet thinking that you had something to do with it. By now, your ass would have been in jail. And I think that you've never came out and said, "Oh, I led a perfect life. I'm a law-abiding citizen my whole life. I've never done a drug in my life." You've never said that. You've come across as being honest, and you're not saying you're perfect. And like people saying you're hiding stuff and all this crazy stuff. I mean, you're not going to come up and go, "Yeah, I've done coke, I've smoked pot, I've drank weed," and giving your whole life
I'm
story.
not
I
sure if
mean,
you drink weed, but
Jesus Christ, or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody
Yeah.
parties here and there.
Exactly. Everybody parties, and people say you're not coming across as being honest. You're not up here to give your whole goddamn life story. You're saying, I'm not in an organization. I'm not, so I just want to say, I think you're coming across as honest. I'm
I really
glad you
appreciate
came
it,
up on the
man.
panel. And so that's the only reason. So I'm going to bounce, and I'm glad you came up. And to the people that are in the chat calling you a liar and everything, they can stick it. Thank you, Tommy.
I
Have a
appreciate it,
great
man.
night. Stay partying.
Partying. All right. See you later. Bye
Have a
bye.
good one,
Yeah,
Laura.
good
And
night.
Tommy, we appreciate you coming up. This is the YouTube streets, or better yet, the Uber
No
streets.
problem.
Oh shit! Yeah, do
Yeah.
some
Backyard
I
magician.
just did something for you.
Oh, that's the hood. That's the hood. What did you say? You do hood magic?
Hood
Back alley
magic.
magician.
You can
Hood
make a
magic.
brick disappear.
Alley
There you
magic.
go.
We appreciate you
Oh,
pulling
okay.
up to the YouTube streets, man.
All right, man. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate let me being fair with me and straight with me the best we can.
Thank you for watching YouTube Streets. This was another episode of The Ugly Devil, the Wade Wilson story. See you on the next one.